When we think of a wild horse in particular, there we think of wide open plains and open range and kind of the American West and a sense of profound freedom. Kind of like being a nomadic being. You know, you don't particularly have a home in the sense that we know it, but at the same time the entire world, if not the entire universe, is your home.
Seems like you can experience almost everything that's going on around you when you're on a horse. You know that it loves you enough that it's going to be willing to carry you wherever you want to go. And it makes you free in a way because you don't have to watch where you're walking. You don't have to worry about falling. You don't have to worry about getting tired. You don't have to worry about aches and pains. Give someone like me that loves freedom an opportunity to go there.
On the designated range itself, which is about 38,000 acres, for most of the last 30 years, that range has been able to sustain a population of about 130 horses in a fairly healthy manner. Since the onset of drought 9 years ago, what the horses have had to do to survive is to move off the designated range onto national forest land, which is outside the designated wild horse range. And that has caused a flap with many environmental groups. These horses are now eating plants and flowers that they shouldn't be eating. And they're surviving this 9 years of drought by trespassing on the national forest land. And if you think about that, wild horses aren't a whole lot different. The animals in the zoo are in enclosed exhibits, and you can't have too many of them. Wild horses are in enclosed exhibits, they're just bigger, and you can't have too many of them.
The drive to continue to remove our horses from the ranges in the western United States is based on junk science. Certainly, if we can sell off these public lands in large chunks, one would think that we could set aside enough public lands for the wild horses. There will always be situations and instances where we need to gather horses. We had a 6-year drought in Nevada, and we gathered a lot of horses during that time, and they needed to be gathered. They were suffering. The rest of the time, we're just gathering together. We're gathering to reduce numbers because it reduces the management demands. The people involved do not bring with them the backgrounds, the tools, and the skills to make some of the judgments that they're making about the future of these wild horses. Too much is at stake to let this continue on the path that it's on now, to simply remove these horses without good science, without more of an understanding about what we're doing to their future.
It dawned on me one day that people do to their animals what they do to themselves. We imprison ourselves, and therefore we imprison our animals. Basically everything in our world is disposable, and it is leaking over into animals and people as well, and it's sad to see. The wild horse, roaming free on the plains, being nomadic and living the life that lives, is something we have all but forgotten. I think people are lost. I think they're incredibly disconnected from the natural world. And animals, trees, plants, bugs, rivers, streams, forests, you name it. There's a hunger that comes from that disconnection. I feel that horses are something that remind us of this, that this still exists, it's still there, and boy. It'd be sad to see that go. It'd be sad.